Sarah, a tutor here at Accountancy Learning, and in this video I'll take you through the AAT Level 3 Business Awareness Sample Paper 2 Task 2. So Task 2 is all about analysing the external environment, and we're given a lot of information for this question. Chillscreen Limited is a national cinema organisation with 60 large multi-screen cinemas based in city centres. They show the latest films with multiple screenings each day. The popularity of these will vary depending on the production company and the actors in the film. They also have a schedule of older films from the last 20 years which are screened multiple times each week and until recently had been popular with cinema goers. Antonio is the finance manager at Chillscreen Limited. He has been asked to prepare a report for the business owners because there has been a significant decrease in profits in the last year, and this is following a trend of falling revenues and increasing costs over the last 5 years. Antonio has done some research and collated information. He has asked for your help with the preparation of a pestle analysis to complete his report. Then we're given the notes from Antonio's research, which we are going to come back to in just a moment. And remember, in your exam, you will be able to open this information in the references section on the right-hand side. So looking at the question then, is we need to identify 3 pestle categories and then explain how this may have an impact on the recent performance of Chillscreen Limited. So for each one, we need to put a category in this box, and then we need to explain that category. So what I'm going to do then is you only need to do 3 in your exam, but we're going to go through all 6 so that you can see what marks you can pick up. But remember, you only need to do 3. So the first one is political. Then we have environmental. Then we have social and technological. And then finally we have legal and economic. So we have, let's just put that in the other colour to make it clear when we're writing in here. So we have the categories listed there. So just for writing a category name in each of those boxes, you should pick up the 3 marks. But now we need to explain them, and the explanation gets you a maximum of 2 marks per box. So let's go back, let's have a look at the information and then see what we can use from that information to start filling in our boxes under our categories. So an increase in income tax has meant household disposable income has fallen. So income tax then is we're going to put that under economic. So we've got a reduction in disposable income. So this will equal less visits, which equals less revenue for Chillscreen. Now obviously in the exam, I'm just writing some notes here, but in the exam you will be writing in full sentences to explain your answer. So because there's a reduction in disposable income. It means there's going to be less visits. They don't have as much money to spend on luxuries such as cinema visits, and therefore this will have contributed to the fall in revenue of Chillscreen. Next, in the last 5 years, there have been 4 new video streaming services. So if we look in the information, we can now make a connection that there's been a trend over the last 5 years of falling revenues. So for this one, we're going to put this under technological. So because there's new streaming services, it means that people aren't going to the cinema as often. Less visits to the cinema, less revenue for Chillscreen. So new streaming services means less visits to less revenue. So because streaming services mean you can watch it wherever, it means people aren't going out now to go and see the films in the cinemas. And remember, you need to be explaining this. So where we're talking about technological, we're saying what the issue is here, and then this is our explanation. What does it actually mean? So to get the 2 marks, you need to say that the streaming services cause less visits to the cinema, and therefore this contributes to the reducing revenue. A number of new, small, independent cinemas have opened up in cities, allowing customers to eat a meal whilst watching the film. So this is going to be connected to our social category. So this is a new experience for customers. So some regular customers of Chillscreen may be looking for something new, so they can now go to the cinema and have a film whilst they are watching their film at these new, smaller, independent cinemas that have opened up. So it could be that Chillscreen is then losing customers because of these new experiences, which then equals less revenue. So again, we've explained what the issue is and what it means, what the impact is on Chillscreen's performance. The current government are focused on their environmental sustainability plan, which has resulted in increased fuel costs and greater restrictions on the use of plastics. So for this one, we can put it under environmental, but we could also put it under political as well. So environmental then, so increased fuel cost means our energy costs are going to be higher. So overall, our business costs increase. So to run the cinema, we have to heat it and light it and have everything that we need running. And so if fuel is going up, then the cost to do so in the cinema will increase as well. Secondly, the initiative to reduce the amount of plastic used could also have an impact on the products that are sold, because it means that they might have a reduced range available because of the restrictions on the plastics that they are allowed to use. So if there's a reduced range, it then means less sales, which ultimately leads to less revenue. So for that one, we've also been able to connect it to decrease in profits with less revenue and higher cost. Film production companies have doubled the number of films released during the year. So this could be part of a social element. They need to understand what customers want. So what is it that customers want to see? And by understanding that, they can make sure that they have the correct mix of films at the correct frequency to make the most in ticket sales. So we can put here will be increase sales. There has been a greater fall in the revenue from drinks and snacks purchased at Chill Screen Limited than the fall in revenue for ticket sales. So this suggests that people are still going to the cinema, but they're just not doing the add-on purchases. So again, this is going to go under social. So less snacks being bought. Is less revenue for Chill Screen. And again, this could be linked to what we were talking about up here with the product mix. So if Chill Screen are affected by the plastic, by the restriction in plastic use, and therefore have changed their product mix, it could mean that there is less available and therefore there is less choice and therefore people buy less. Or it could be related to the reduction in disposable income, so they are using their income to buy the ticket rather than spending it on snacks. We've then got changes to the minimum wage. So for the minimum wage, this can be either legal or economic. So it's a legal requirement to pay the minimum wage. So if that increases, then there is going to be additional cost to the business. And therefore less profits. So that could be either a legal requirement because it's required by law, or it could also be economic because of the impact it has on the profit of the business. And then our final one here is that some of the most famous Hollywood actors who have starred in recent films have suffered bad headlines in the news. So this again is going to come under social. So we've got quite a lot for social in this one. So the bad reputation of actors could mean that people boycott films, which equals less visits and equals less revenue. So there's our examples. Now we've got political here with nothing written in, but we could do our environmental because the government was putting in the restrictions. We could also use our environmental answers under the political heading. So what we talked about with the restrictions on plastic and the increase in costs for energy or the fuel costs, they can also come under political. So remember, you only need to do 3 of these, but they are what you may be able to pick marks up for. From the categories you have identified in A Part 1, state one action Chillscreen can take as a result of undertaking a PESTLE analysis. So this is asking us to choose one of the PESTLE categories and state an action that they can take to reduce the risk. So if we look at what we've got, so looking at social, so there's quite a lot in social here, so that may be a good one to pick. So bad reputation of actors, well, there could be something that we could do here. So we could select films that don't have the bad press. So people will want to see it, so they're less likely to boycott. We can also look at our snacks issues here and our product mix. So what could we do? Change up the product mix. We could reduce price or look at how we can make it more budget friendly, and consider environmentally friendly options. And what else could we do? Well, the other thing that we've got is that we've got new experiences with different providers. We've got new streaming services there as well. So what we could do is not only could we review pricing, but also look at changing tastes from our customers and keep up with technology trends or technological trends. So again, you only have to put one of those in to pick up the marks. And then with that, you've completed your PESTLE analysis for this scenario. Part B then, we're going on to some true or false questions. Goodwill is only recognised when a partner retires. So this is false. So yes, it is the case when they retire, but also when a new partner joins as well. So it's false. A partnership continues regardless of the changes in partners. So this is true, the partnership can continue regardless of the adding and reducing of partner numbers. So people can join and leave and the partnership can continue. A limited company must register with the registrar of companies. Yeah, absolutely. So this is true again. To be a limited company, you must be registered with the registrar of companies. And the final one, there must be 2 or more persons trading in common for a partnership to exist. So this is also true. If there was only one, it would be a sole trader. A company has, until recently, run its own delivery function in the business with a fleet of vehicles and team of drivers. They have now signed a contract with a local logistics company who will take over the delivery of all goods to their customers worldwide. Now we've got to complete the following statement. This is an example of, and we've got 3 to choose from there. So it used to run its own delivery function. It had its own fleet of vehicles, but now they've got a contract with a local logistics company who takes over the delivery of all goods. So that means they've sourced somebody else to do that particular part of their service. So it's called outsourcing. They've gone external for that service. This will most likely mean the organisations, and then we've got to look at whether the expenses will reduce and capital costs increase, capital costs will reduce and expenses will increase, or the capital costs and expenses will increase. So let's have a look at what we've got. When they ran their own delivery function, they had a fleet of vehicles. So that's going to be our assets, but they don't need them anymore because they've outsourced that delivery function. So that means our assets are then going to reduce. But because we've got this contract, we are going to need to pay for the delivery, which means our expenses are going to increase. So that's going to be the middle one here. Our capital costs will reduce because we've got less assets, and our expenses will increase. Then finally for this task, identify 2 benefits of artificial intelligence to the role of accountant. So reduced training needs for staff. So staff are still going to need training on the appropriate and safe use of AI. So that isn't going to be one of our 2. Higher level of human errors. Well, that's not going to be one of our 2 either, because we don't want human errors. So it wouldn't even be a benefit anyway, but it would cause less human errors if AI is helping us and technology is helping us. Increased speed of transaction processing. So this is a benefit. So doing things through AI and technical advances means that the increase of transaction processing will be faster. A reduction in manual entries. So there would be less manual entries if we are using artificial intelligence and technology to help us. So that's going to be our second one. But just to finish off the list, increased detailed knowledge of the transactions. Well, this wouldn't be a benefit, because actually if AI is doing it, then staff would have less knowledge of the individual transactions. And now we've completed part D. That means it's the end of task 2.